early compared to what I normally do. I have a doctor's appointment this afternoon, and so I've had to go live just about an hour earlier than I normally do. So you may be catching this on replay. If you are, welcome. I'm a little like grabbing everything around me still. I'm running late. Okay, so this week I'm doing something a little different on my blog, which obviously carries over into Facebook, onto YouTube. I'm showcasing 5 different projects that all intertwine because they all use the Sweet Stockings designer series paper. Yesterday, I shared this card over on my blog. It's a simple design highlighting some of the designer series paper and the cute images that can be fussy cut out. I also use the Wintry embossing folder, which I'm carrying over into today's design. Tomorrow, I am sharing another card. Thursday, I am sharing Christmas tags. And Friday, I'm sharing a scrapbook layout. Hello, Dawn. Thanks so much for joining me today. So, I forgot to shut off my light. Oops. You're going to get a shadow. I apologize. Today I'm sharing like a treat holder. It could even be a gift holder using the mini paper pumpkin boxes. Okay. Now, I'm going to walk you through how to make the card, but I'm not going to give you any measurements. Next Tuesday, in my weekly tips and updates email, I am not only going to give you all the measurements, but all the product and step-by-step instructions on how to make all 5 of the projects this week, okay? In order to get that, you have to sign up for my weekly tips and updates email. To do that, you're going to go to freebies.jamieb.com. Freebies.jamie. Let's see if I can grab a pen here. Freebies.jamieb. I didn't really secure my grid paper. Wait, hold on. Here we go. Freebies. Because you have to spell my name right. JamiB.com. JAIMIE. Sorry, that's a super messy handwriting. Hold on. Let me just grab my washi tape and secure this down, or else these are going to be floating. The grid paper is going to be going all over the place. So next Tuesday, in my weekly tips and updates email, I'm going to give you all the measurements, all the product, everything that you need to make the projects. Okay, so make sure you do that. Let me just adhere this down, or this is going to go all over the place. While I'm doing this, hello, Julie. Good morning. You must be on the West Coast somewhere because it is afternoon where I am. Are you in Central Time or Western on the West Coast? You are. Good morning then. In your neck of the woods, it's still morning. It is afternoon. And because I'm going live at noon and leaving right afterwards, I actually already had my lunch, which was just weird. Anyways, tomorrow, okay, heads up, tomorrow there is a oh, you're in California? Nice. I have a downline and a couple customers in California. Nice. Tomorrow, 1-day sale, okay? 15% off all cling stamps from the annual catalog, okay? So heads up, 1-day sale coming tomorrow. Mark your calendar, set an alarm, do all the things so that you don't miss out. Okay, let's get going on the project. Again, mini paper pumpkin box. They come in a thing like this, and you get 10 in a container. They are mini paper pumpkin boxes. The final size, in case you're wondering like what will fit, it's about 4 by just shy of 6. Okay, so you can fit some treats, some candy. Certainly you could put some like Muffy socks in here. You could put what else could you could put some lotion. Oh my gosh, you could fit tons and tons of stuff. And it opens just like our regular paper pumpkin boxes. It's just smaller, and you're going to see my tags for tomorrow in there. I apologize. My cat I have some plastic on the floor, and my cat is playing in the plastic. So you're hearing that in the background. But this is what it looks like opened. And then it's got these 2 little things that sort of hook into the front slots like so. And then it closes. Okay. And then we're going to make a little band to hold it. Oh my gosh. My cat is, well, one of my cats is completely like diving into this plastic. I apologize. You're probably hearing that. Oh, gravy. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so we're going to take one of these out. And we got to sort of put it together. So we have, oh my gosh, my cat. Actually, it's my daughter's cat, technically. We're going to just pop these guys out. Now, here's the thing. One side, do you hear her? She is going to town. Yesterday we bought, okay, so total, you know how I like to get on my tangents. Yesterday we bought this, like, it's like a beanbag chair that opens up into a bed for like sleepovers and whatnot. And so it came in all this plastic, and that's what she's rolling around in. There are two sides. One is kind of shiny and one is a matte. I couldn't tell you like which one's supposed to be out, honestly. I think you can spritz these and color them, in which case you would want the matte side to be out. And that's what I did. I had the matte side out. I don't really know which one's supposed to be which. Maybe today I'll have the shiny side out. Although you get a glare with the shiny side out, don't you? Joining the video. She would be quite the hassle. We call her name is Loca, and you know, for a reason. That's why she has her name, because she's just a crazy kitty cat. So you're just gonna fold on all of these score lines here, and you just kind of have to put it together. Super easy, but first you're gonna want to definitely kind of crease them. It's easier to crease before it all gets put together. Okay, and then you're going to put these guys in first, shiny side in so that you can put food and stuff in it. Oh, okay. Well, that's what I did. I didn't know I was doing it right, but I wasn't. I did it that way. So you're going to put these two tabs in and then fold in your side. And then the little notches are going to kind of click in these little holes down here. Okay, so your little notches come in, or your little tabbies. And then you fold in and then kind of push them until they're secured in the bottom, okay? And then you're good to go. These go in, and then these guys fold into these little slots that were created. Okay, and that's how you put your box together. Super, super easy. Again, I think you can use a spritzer to color it. I had seen another demonstrator do that, and I thought that was really cool, but we're just gonna load it up with designer paper since that's what we're highlighting today. Again, all the measurements will be in next week's weekly email. So you're going to do a lot of matting. You need cherry cobbler, and we're going to just mat and mat. Hold on. And mat and mat. Okay. So I'm going to use liquid glue because I really want to make sure and I have a feeling this is running out, so we have to open my other one, because I really want to get super close to the edges, and I definitely want to use the liquid glue when adhering down to the box itself, because I'm going to have a little bit of wiggle room to kind of play with it. But first things first, we're going to just mat. Oh, this is why I don't like liquid glue. It's like all on my fingers. I suppose, what's that stuff called? The Stampin' Seal we could have used for the designer paper, but I mean, this is fine. I'll get a little gooey. It's no big deal. See how we have a little bit of wiggle room to kind of, there we go. Get good placement. And I want the designer paper really glued down close to the edges so it's not getting caught on anything, and it really is. The glue will kind of seep a little bit, so it'll go nice to the edge. Okay, there's that. So basically you need two small rectangles, like two shorter rectangles, two longer rectangles, and then a chunky rectangle. Again, all the measurements will be in the tutorial next week. If you're catching this on replay, I do plan on including the tutorials like for a couple of weeks. So if you're catching this down the road, and maybe it's been a little while, feel free to shoot me an email, and I'd be happy to share the tutorials. But you're going to want to, so when you sign up for my weekly email, you also are going to get my 5 free quick and easy card tutorials. So actually, when you sign up right now, you're going to get 10 tutorials in total, which, hello. Okie dokie. Oh, actually, I got to leave that out. So then we're going to just adhere this on all around my box. Now, for the ones that are like this, I want my curvy to be on the same direction. So in this case, the curvy is up. I'm going to adhere this with the curvy side up as well. Okay. And I doubt anyone else will notice, but I kind of wanted it to look similar. Whoop, shoop, 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 shoop. So it doesn't matter. Like if you do it curvy down or curvy up, just make sure you kind of are making a mental note as to how you're doing it so that you can follow along. Okay, there's the top. Then one of the long ones is going to go on both the front and the back. Technically, you don't have to do the back, but it will get seen. So, you know, you want it to look, you know, you don't want any dead space. And then again, because we're using the liquid glue, I do have a little bit of wiggle room to be able to just make sure I'm getting good placement on that. Now, this is the one I wasn't sure about. So I could stick with the swirlies up, which I think I'm going to do, but technically now it doesn't coincide with that. But I think I'm going to do swirlies up, even though now technically the swirlies are down. But that's so that the swirlies are all the same on all four sides of the box. Oops. Okay. Then we have the two side ones. Boop, boop, boop. Telling you, I don't use liquid glue often, but it is super helpful when using like 3D projects because it is super, super strong. Oh, goodness gracious. It is super strong and like this is not going to go anywhere. You could probably pry it off, but then you would be ruining, it would definitely not be pretty. Okie dokie. So we have our four sides covered with the designer paper matted on the cherry cobbler. Yeah, for sure, Julie. So what to expect in my weekly emails? You might be thinking, Jamie, I do not need another email in my inbox. And I hear you. Let me tell you, I am constantly unsubscribing from all sorts of things because I cannot stand unwanted email. So I hear you. I get what you're saying. In my weekly email, I always share like Stampin' Up updates, information. I share the current paper pumpkin project that you can get. I share some video tutorials, projects I'm working on, tips, stamping tricks, that sort of thing. So it's not a nuisance email. I promise you it's going to be one that you're going to find useful. Okay. And generally speaking, I only send it out once a week, unless maybe there's a flash sale that I think you should know about. But generally speaking, it's just the once a week. Okay, I have my panel of Pool Party here, and I've already gone ahead and scored it and cut it down, trimmed it down. I think I may trim it a little bit more. I couldn't remember if I trimmed it. Let's see how, well, I guess I don't have to. Okay. So I am, oh, hold on, let's not do that first. I'm going to emboss it. So I have these mini embossing folders, the Wintry, and again, I used it in my card yesterday. So I'm kind of carrying over some of the similar product. And it comes in two, which are like bows and then the snowflakes. I'm going to use the snowflakes one. And you're going to see it is royally too short, like big time too short. So no big deal. We can easily fix this. I'm going to just throw this into my, throw the paper into my embossing folder. And I'm pretty much putting it as low as it can go and maybe in like a tad lower than some of these images. And I'm going to just run this through my emboss and die cut emboss machine here. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is take it out and flip it around and then do the other side. I'm putting it in almost all the way. Okay, now be sure that you're not flipping your embossing folder. You want both. You want it to stay consistent. You don't want this to be the positive and then this be the negative. So just make sure that you don't accidentally flip your embossing folder around, or else you're going to have half of it be negative and half of it be positive. That's not quite the look we're going for. Now, although we did flip it around and there is this kind of overlap here, you can't really tell. You can't tell. And that part's going to be on the bottom anyways. And so you're really not going to be able to tell. I'm going to wrap it around and I'm going to secure that piece with some tear and tape. I could also use that liquid glue. It would be strong enough, but I want it to dry a little faster. So we're going to use some tear and tape, which is also the second best. Actually, no, this is my first best. Adhesive when doing 3D projects. Got a little long there, so I just wanted to trim that a smidge. And then let's see here. So this is gonna hit here. So then I'm gonna put another little piece here. And then we're gonna pull off the tape and secure it. Now I pulled out the Pool Party, which is one of the colors here in the Designer Series paper, but you definitely could have used Cherry Cobbler or Old Olive. There's even Bumblebee if you really wanted to go a little bit more non-traditional colors. Because I put a poinsettia on top, which uses Cherry Cobbler cardstock, I thought, that would be too much. But probably if it wasn't for the poinsettia, I would have done this in Cherry Cobbler. So I'm going to adhere it over. Now I'm not adhering it like super, super tight because I want to make sure there's enough give for my belly band to come off. Can you put your email in the subscription? Can you put your email in the subscription? Yes, you can put your email in the subscription. Oh, I don't know if I'm understanding you correctly or not, Dawn. I'm sorry. If you go to freebies.jamieb.com, it'll open up a page that you can put like your information in, including your email. And that's the email that the weekly email will go to. I'm sorry. If I didn't understand you correctly, please just ask again. Okie dokie. So we have our band. Okay, good. We have our band ready to go. And ahead of time, this is so funny. The poinsettia dies are a product I used all the time last year. So it did carry over. And this is the first time I'm using it this year. I don't know why. It's such a great fun product. So this is the poinsettia dies. And they make this beautiful poinsettia paper flower. And what it comes with, and you're going to see, are all the dies have a duo. So there's an outside and an inside. Hold on, I didn't do this right. That goes with that. That goes with that. And this goes with this. And the same goes for the leaves. You can see it's been well used. So my sticky is completely a hot mess. But when you run your cardstock through, you can do it all in one fell swoop. Just line it up like that, run it through, and it will emboss and cut at the same time. And this is what you get. So you get like the little veins running through the leaves. But you don't have, you can, if you want to, do it separately, but you don't have to. And they do line up, so you kind of have to figure out like which way the petals, like, oh, of course I do it that way. And that's like the first one. Like that doesn't line up. You know what I mean? That doesn't line up. You kind of have to play with it. In the very beginning, I don't know if you can tell, but I put a little notch like with a permanent marker on like both the outline and the embossed stitch so that I knew easily how to line them up. But over time, it's kind of worn away. But that's something you can do to kind of keep you from having to keep spinning them around until you find how they connect. Okay, so I have a large petal, a medium petal, a small petal, and then a teeny tiny little center. Okay, and before I adhere them over one another, I'm going to use my bone folder and kind of fluff them up. I will say that the first time you use those dies, be very careful, especially like this guy here. It's so narrow down here that if you pull quickly, you could actually break that. So just, a soft, gentle hand. Don't be too rough. I'm curling my petals down. You could curl them up if you wanted to. And I'm putting my one finger kind of like right here to give a little bit extra oomph so I don't just rip up the petal right off, which totally could happen. And just using my bone folder, the heat in your hands mixed with the pressure does curl them nicely. Okay, this guy doesn't need curled. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and explain this, and hopefully this makes sense. I'm not going to completely overlap like that. I'm going to kind of leave a little space like so that when this guy goes over, they're kind of like that. I don't know if that makes sense. So we have 5 spaces here and obviously 5 petals. I don't want to completely cover that space because then this one, it's a little like, I don't know. I don't like the look of that so much. So I'm going to kind of 1/3 of the way cover it. And then this one's going to be like the 2/3 covered it kind of thing. I don't know. In my head, it makes sense. I don't know how to truly describe that. To adhere them, I'm going to put liquid glue, just a dot in the middle, and hold it and apply a little pressure. Oops, I will want to move a smidge. Oops. You can also use glue dots if you prefer that. And then the third one's going to go right over it like so. And then this little tiny guy is going to go right in the middle with some liquid glue. And it doesn't take long for this to dry. It has enough time for us to kind of wiggle it around, but not too much where, you know, we're waiting all day for it to dry. Ahead of time, I cut out 2 leaves from Old Olive and this sort of like what I'm going to call a sprig from Bumblebee. I don't normally use Bumblebee for anything Christmas, but it's in the paper here and it totally works as like a little sprig. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere the leaves and the sprig to the belly band first, and then I'm going to adhere the flower over that. So I'm going to kind of play with placement here just a little bit, just to get an idea of how I want to do this. Like, does that look good? I think that looks beautiful, actually. Okay, so kind of like there, and then the sprig going over. Since we've been using liquid glue, we might as well just stick with liquid glue. I'm going to put it just at the tip, just the part that's going to be covering the, adhering to the belly band, excuse me. And you're going to notice that there is a seam there with the belly band right there. I don't know if you can see it, but the poinsettia is going to completely cover it. No one's going to be none the wiser that then there was a seam. And you want to do that. Otherwise, your seam's on the bottom and it's a little bit more noticeable. But this kind of hiding it under the poinsettia is perfect. No one will know. Okie dokie. So for my poinsettia, I am going to adhere that down, especially since I've curled the petals. You're going to see that it's a little more 3D, and I can sort of squish that down with some liquid glue, but then that kind of defeats the purpose of fluffing the petals. So I'm going to use some dimensionals, and especially that this is a treat holder or a gift holder, like your petals should stay pretty fluffy, as opposed to a card that gets put in an envelope and mailed that will definitely get squished. You have a good, odds are your poinsettia is going to stay fluffy. Okay, I think I want to do it like that. And then the dimensionals will catch and we're good to go. To add a little bit bling into the center of the poinsettia, I'm just pulling in some rhinestones here. And I'm going to use 3 of them. The smaller ones. There is texture in this center, this little guy there. But I thought the rhinestones added just a nice little bling to it. And just 3 will do it. And we are almost, oops, I lost a dimensional. It went flying. Oh, good, Dawn. I'm so glad you like it. Please case away. For sure. I love this because, you know, it's not a traditional wrapping of Christmas presents, right? Like, this is just a beautiful, I don't know. I would love to receive a gift in this. Okay, so the sentiment, I'm kind of pulling in product for everywhere. Christmas to remember, 'tis the season. I like this guy down here because it's an outline with the white that's not colored, as opposed to this is like the words are stamped. This is the outline is stamped. Just kind of a different sort of way of doing it. And so I'm going to do the 'tis the season, and I'm going to stamp it, cherry cobbler ink, like so. Hold your breath. We're good. Good to go. The other thing is, so I originally in here had my tags. You know, if you're into gifting, like, I don't know, gifting tags and stuff, this would be a great way to give that gift to someone. So for our sentiment, I'm going to fussy cut it out, and I'm going to literally just cut right around the sentiment. Leave a little bit of a, whoops, that was a little narrow. Leave a little bit of a bubble around. But for the most part, except for the four corners, it's straight lines, which honestly, to be honest, I find a little bit more challenging even more than like more complicated images. Straight lines can be a little intimidating, but not enough to stop us. Okay. Oops. Come back. Okay, now. Oh, thanks, Julie. I'm so glad you like it. For the sentiment here, my flower is a little bit fluffier than my sample one. Let's see if I can make it work. Maybe down here. No, I want it up there. Okay, for our sentiment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to double up a dimensional on half of it and then put liquid glue on the second. So on the other side, excuse me. So on this side here, I'm going to double up a dimensional and have it attached to the leaf. And then on this side here, I'm going to put just a little bit of liquid glue so it catches the poinsettia. To double up your dimensionals, just take the sticky part of both of them, stick them together, push it down, peel one side, make sure it's the right side. Yep, okay. Dimensional, and then I'm going to peel that off in a second. And first I want to put just a little bit of glue. Okay, peel that off. So it's pretty high up. That's why I wanted to do the double dimensional. And I just want to make sure I catch that leaf underneath. There we go. It does squinch it just a little bit, which is a technical term, by the way. So I may want to grab a block and just kind of sit that on there. Well, it does look like it's pretty, it caught well. I do have a little bit of glue sort of seeping out here. There we go. Okay, actually, I don't even think I need that. I think we're good. And there you have it. A simple mini paper pumpkin box. Simple design. Honestly, the paper does all the work. You could choose any of the patterns, any of the ones that you like and you think are cute and would work for your design. I actually even considered leaving it to the left. I also considered, if you don't want to do the whole poinsettia thing, hold on a second. So I was originally going to not do the belly band, and I was just going to do a simple bow. So if, you know, you have a bunch of these to make and you don't want to make like 10,000 poinsettias, you could also just do like a simple bow here in the corner. Would be really cute on your paper pumpkin box. Of course, bow tying for me is like my nemesis. I do not make bows, everyone. If you see me make a bow, it's a pure love for someone else because I do not make bows. Okay, but anyway, so you get the point. If you didn't want to do a whole belly band, you could easily do a pretty bow in the corner here. Would be adorable. Okay, if you wanted to go a step further, you could even like wrap it big time. Hold on, that's not how you wrap a box. I had to think about it. It's not Christmas season. Actually, my mom has been doing all my Christmas wrapping for like the past, I don't know how many years. So I haven't wrapped a Christmas box in a while. If you wanted to take your ribbon up a notch, you could actually like wrap it around the whole box like that, right? And do a bow there. So lots of possibilities. The paper pumpkin boxes really make for just extra special treat gifting. You can put cookies inside it. Or you can put gifts or whatever. So the sky's the limit. Honest to goodness. Mini paper pumpkin box. Just a reminder, tomorrow is the 24-hour sale. 15% off cling stamps from the annual catalog. Check that out. If you have any questions, please let me know. Don't forget to go to freebies.jamieb.com to get all the exact measurements, step-by-step instructions, tutorials on all 5 of the projects I'm making this week. Thank you everyone so much for joining me, and I will catch you